My name is Trevlyan Hodge, proud father of five. Got three biological and two bonus. My three biological, Trevlyan Hodge, he's 23. He's kind of his own person and he likes to do his own thing. Trevlyan is 21 and he is probably more like me than anybody else. He'll listen, but he's gonna do things the way he wants to do it anyway. Amani, my baby girl, she's 18. She just graduated from high school, geared to go to UCA, so she's a baby girl, daddy's little girl. So she's always getting what she wants most of the time. Two bonus, Jakayla, she is 26. Now she has her own personality. She is a proud mother of two, self-sufficient, doing everything on her own, so I'm proud of her. And Alexis is 25. Now she is just like her mom. Yes, she is gonna do things the way she wants to do it, and if I don't have to have no help, I'm gonna do it myself. That is Alexis. All right, if I had to give my own definition of a father, it's more than just being a dad. It's being there when your kids need you, going through things, but also being willing to step back so your kids can experience certain things on their own when they're young enough to where they can recover from it. Because I think you learn by failing more than you learn by getting it right. So I think that's the hard part of being a father. But that is an aspect of being a father that most people don't like admitting to. But it's okay to see your kids fail, because I think they learn from that a whole lot more than everything going right all the time. Because that's not how life is. I had to learn how to do little stuff, and I like braid hair. Had to learn how to, okay, you gotta have your own little space. You can't share rooms with your brothers. Like two boys, you can bunk them in the same room together. Girl, she gotta have her own little space. So she always was the one that had her room, and the boys had their room that they shared. But the main thing with her was learning how to deal with the emotional side. Like, boys was like, you gonna be tough. So, man, how you take this crime, man, get over that, let's go. But with her, it was totally different because I didn't understand all of the emotions that girls have a little different than boys. So I had my mom, I had my sister-in-law, I had cousins, I had church members that helped me with that. So I just learned through the process, and also I guess when Amani was graduating the 8th grade, me and Tina had met, and her coming in at that time was great because then she had somebody at home with her, along with some sisters who were over 18 that could help kind of help her go through stuff that I could not tell her or help her experience. So all of that kind of came into play, but I also, even though she was a girl, I wanted her to have that mental toughness of a dude. You know what I'm saying? So I still kind of put some stuff on her that you normally, or I may not should have, because I want her to know how to do stuff so she don't have to be dependent on anybody else, right? So when she got her car, I showed her, hey, this is the that, this is how you change the tire, this is how you do, cause it's gonna be some stuff in your life that if you're so dependent on somebody else doing, male or female, it's just general principles of life that you need to know how to cook, know how to clean after yourself, know how to take care of yourself, know how to make your bed, you know. So it was just certain things that I made sure she had the feminine aspect through family members, but I also wanted to give her this mental toughness because this world is tough, right? So it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're gonna experience something going wrong in your life, and you're gonna have to be mentally tough to deal with it, not just physically tough. Okay, so my parenting style kind of has evolved over the years because I was raised by a father who was pretty strict, right? So it's gonna be my way or it's gonna be my way. Those are your options, right? And he had my mom's back completely. So anything that mom told us to do, daddy was basically telling us to do. So you try to be that person growing up, especially when you first have kids, because that's the style that you know. But going through the divorce kind of changed my parenting style a little bit because my kids were young. So you knew emotionally they needed me to be something that I normally would not have had to be if I was a dad, right? Most of the time the dad gets to be the tough one and I don't have to worry about the feelings. I don't have to, well, I had to find a balance. So when I first got divorced, it was kind of a guilt almost there. So it was like they acting up, it's gonna be okay because I know they going through some stuff. But about 2 years into that, it's like, man, forget this crap. We gotta get some act right. You know what I'm saying? And you still have some guilt there. And you know what I'm saying? But you understand that nothing's changing. You can't fix what happened 2 years ago. The world's not gonna stop. It's time to move forward, so we're gonna go back to doing things the way we always have, right? So I mean, you do find that, but that's how my style kind of evolved, and I'm still kind of hands off. Like my parenting style is similar to my leadership style. I don't believe in I'm gonna tell you something 10 times, or I don't believe in telling somebody something and then not allowing them to go make a mistake. Because I believe, like I said earlier, that through mistakes, you learn, and those give you moments to teach. Instead of me just beating you down because you made a mistake, and I want you to learn from it. Because the way I viewed it was, if my son or my daughter made a mistake at 14, we can come back from that. But if they make the same mistake when they 18 to 20, they can go to jail. And you can't come back from that. You get a felony on your record that carries from 17 forward. That's on your record. You have to register as a sex offender for something at 17. That carries with you forward. So my thought process was, I'm gonna teach them the way, but I'm also allow them to make some mistakes while they're young, because at least I can pull you back in and we can sit down and talk about it. But if I wait till you 19 or 20, it's too late. You know, so. That's kind of how I viewed it. When I was in school, it was no permission slip to get licks. You got licks. You know what I'm saying? The teacher, you got licks. It was what it was. I took licks at school because if I'd got D-Hall and had to stay after school, then my mama would have known I got in trouble. Then my daddy would have known I got in trouble. So I'd have got in trouble with both of them when I got home. So I took licks at the school. You know what I'm saying? It was better to get whooped at the house. Well, this is my thing. If I have to threaten to discipline my kids a certain way to get them to act right at home, I'm not geared to take that capability away from the teacher. Because if I'm having to tell them, hey, if you don't do this by the time this, I'm gonna get my belt, and it is what it is. And then, but I'm telling the teacher, I want you to teach these 18 to 20 kids, and if my kid acting up, now call me and I'll see what I think and how I feel this day. Now I want you to have the same capabilities that I have, because I know my kid. So when you call me and tell me my kid did something, I'm not one of them that say, not my son. I'll be like, man, hey, let's do a little, let's talk about it, do a little investigation, because to me, they're guilty till proven innocent when a teacher called me, right? I mean, that's just that's because I know what them teachers deal with up there, right? And if I'm having to deal with it at home with 3, could you imagine dealing with 18 to 20? So my dad was old school. It was really no lead way with this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was an ex-Marine, military, raised in the South in Arkansas during segregation. Went to the Marines, moved to California, so it was more of a, I mean, you gonna do what I say do. I mean, we had to make up our bed every day. We had to do this, do that. It was no questions asked. It was what it was. If we didn't do it right, hey, I'm gonna come make it, and you gonna make it up right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was an expectation. And even when I got 21, I was like, okay, I'm grown. I can go out and party if I want to. His statement was, if wherever you at midnight, you stay. So if you ain't in the house at midnight, wherever you at, you find you somewhere to stay. Whatever side of that door you on after 12 o'clock, because it's a new day. That's where you stay. Being a single father helped me understand that it's okay for men to be in touch with their emotional side too. Because you didn't get that, it was looked down upon for a man to show any kind of emotion. It was like it was wrong. And do I think that may have caused a lot of the mental health issues in our men today, or even fathers that wanted to leave because it was so much stress, because they wanted to, I can't show no emotion, I can't show that I'm hurt, I didn't teach my boys that way. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have feelings, and that does not make you less of a man because you cry because something good happened to you. It does not make you less of a man if you hear a good story on the internet and you cry. Actually, it makes you a bigger man to be in touch with your feelings than it does to act like you so hard that you can't show any emotion. And I think it has helped me be a better father. I think it has helped me be a better husband. I think it has helped me be a better at my job. I think it has helped me be a better school board member. I think it's helped me be a better community member, because I'm not looking at stuff from my point of view all the time. I'm trying to figure out what could possibly be the issue that this person is going through that causing them to act like this. Because I mean, the one thing I can say in our community, 85% socioeconomically disadvantaged community, these kids come to school hungry. So I'm mad at them for acting bad because they didn't have no lights on last night and they couldn't do their homework. They don't have a pencil. They didn't eat after they left school yesterday, and I'm upset with them because they got an attitude and they had to drop their 2-year-old brother or sister off at their grandma's house before they walked to school 1.5 miles. No, so it has helped me start looking at what is somebody else going through that may cause them to act this way, and it has helped me be, like I said, a better father, better stepfather, better grandfather, better husband. And I think it helps me with my relationship at the church too. You know, so a lot of this, being a single parent, has really helped me grow into a better all-around person, in my opinion. Well, that the main villagers, I will say, were my mom and dad. Cause I was still working rotating shifts. I was working nights, I was working days, I was working swing, I was working this, that. So when the kids were too young to stay at home by themselves for a certain amount of time, you know, I would take them over my mom's house. So if I was working nights, they spent the night over there. Sometimes if I had to work over, they would take them to school. My brother and my sister-in-law, they spent time with them on the weekends, because of course they had their own life. They had to work and everything too, but my parents were both retired, so they were able to do that. But as my kids got a little older and they wanted to stay at home some by themselves, had next door neighbors, Carolyn and Andrew. They would check on them all through the night. They would also they would also take them food, but my kids, that was when they was about 15, 16, so they were old enough to stay there by themselves, you know what I'm saying? And then also I had, community members. I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna brag on this community in Liberty Island. I've had friends who, when I couldn't afford certain stuff, did stuff for my kids when I couldn't afford to do it, and it wasn't family members, right? Family members did stuff, but I've had community members that threw birthday parties for my kids when I couldn't afford to do it. That when Trevlyan was playing travel baseball, had a good friend that he had 3 boys, and he was like, hey man, send him with me. He ain't got to pay for no food. He ain't got to pay for no, don't worry about sending him nothing, because I got 3 boys anyway. One more is not gonna make a difference. I didn't have to pay him. I didn't send him money for gas. I gave Trevlyan some food money, and then Trevlyan would come back home with the money, because he was like, man, well, Mr. Langford told me don't worry about paying for this. Don't worry about the room and this and that. And these were people that I wasn't related to, just people that I knew. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta brag on this community in Liberty Island. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's why I'm still in the community, because when my kids started back at school, I didn't have to buy school clothes. I didn't have to buy supplies. They had backpacks waiting for them at the school when they got back, when they started school. I mean, it just don't happen, right? So that's why I'm a Texas High graduate, and people are like, well, why you over in LE? I mean, that's why. They made me feel like family, even though we wasn't family. So I do consider Liberty Island community as my family, right? All 3 of my kids graduated from LE. My wife graduated from LE. Both her daughters graduated from LE. My mother-in-law stay in LE. I stay in LE. So it's like, I'm gonna brag on that community, because I have never felt like a stranger over here, no matter what. And I'm telling you, if they needed it and I couldn't afford it, they did it. And I can't forget my church family, Atlanta Street Church of Christ. They've been there for me through the whole process, man. My buddies, Tony Duhart, Dalian Lee, Lamar Snowden. Matter of fact, Lamar married me and Tina. So he performed our wedding for us. And rest in peace, our minister was Steve Williams. He gave me counseling. They did everything. Like I said, when the kids needed to be picked up for church, when I had to work on Sundays, they would pick them up. They would take them out to eat. They would bring plates home with them. And I just can't say enough about all my church members. They still send. When Amani graduated, she got cards. She got this, she got that. And like I said, I get emotional talking about how good God been to me and my family. But and I even told you earlier that people may view me as cocky and as overconfident, but it ain't because of nothing that I've done. Because I've been blessed on my job, with the woman that I married, with my kids, being in some of the positions they've been in beyond measure, way beyond what I deserve. So my confidence is not in what I could do. My confidence is in what God has shown me He gonna bring me through. Cause like I said, people always see the rewards, but they don't know the tears that I cried at night by myself. They don't know the hard, the sleepless nights. They don't know me working 16 hours, 6 or 7 days a week, because I had to work overtime to try to make money to feed my kids. You know what I'm saying? Nobody sees that, but all they see is the reward. But all my confidence and everything that I have, I give praise and honor to God, no matter what. I have always been a firm believer that what's yours, what God has for you is yours, right? You know how I ran into my current wife? Our kids were running on the same track club. I didn't know who she was. Come to find out, we kind of ran in the same circles, never seen each other before. I'd never seen her before that. And then it just kept going, and we had other similarities. Matter of fact, she graduated from Liberty Island the same year that I graduated from Texas High. Never knew it. Never seen her before in my life. And man, that's why I said when we met and I asked her out, she was like, I don't know. I was like, so I was pretty persistent. She was fine, man. So she, so I was pretty persistent. She was gonna have to tell me no more than once. She was fine enough that wasn't a one time no, right? She was gonna tell me no 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it wasn't gonna be no harassment or nothing like that, but it was gonna have to be more than once you tell me no. So after that, man, kids clicked. You know, of course, blending families, you always have some growing pains, right? But this is the way I look at my wife. I made a post about her on social media. Her daughters are 26 and 25. My oldest is 23. How many women do you know will raise theirs till they're grown and then come back and help you raise a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old it just don't happen. Now men do it all the time, but it is hard to find a woman who will come back and say, I'm gonna help raise someone else's kid. So man, I'm gonna give it a whirl if I had the opportunity, right? Yeah, so I mean, I think kids, their first view of a healthy relationship is from their parents' relationship, right? Or whoever's raising them relationship. And if I have a relationship where I think fussing and arguing and fighting all the time is a healthy relationship because that's what I saw every day, that's what I'm going to be attracted to, right? So I believe that in order for your kids or young ones to know their self-worth, they gotta have parents who know their self-worth, right? Do I think it's some situations in there where you could come from a broken home and that kind of situation and go out and be great? Yes, because we have proof of that all the time. I just don't think that was a scenario that I would recommend. You know what I'm saying? If I could give any advice to a young mother that's not with the father of a child that they're raising, never talk negative about it. You know, let the kid form their own opinion about what kind of father he is. Don't keep the kid away from the father if the father is trying to have a relationship. Children are very smart now. I got a 2-year-old grandson that showed me how to open my phone. So, you know what I'm saying? So they understand emotional differences as well. So steady grinding on somebody because they're not doing what you think they should do in the way you should do it, it's not right. Let those kids, you do your part as a mother. If you got a father that wants to be there, allow him to be there. Don't worry about who else he with. Don't worry about what he doing now. Don't worry about how many other kids he got. If he is man enough to say, this is my son, my daughter, and I want to take some time with them, allow him to. And it does not matter what y'all's relationship was or is. It's about the kid. And that's not just for young mothers. That's for young fathers too. Don't diss the mom. Don't diss the other parent. Show that the kid that you are a good parent by doing your part when they're with you, and spend the energy when they're with you of being a positive role model. Don't spend the energy being talking down on somebody else, and because it's not a competition. Your kids love both of their parents. They do. It doesn't matter what this parent did. I mean, you know, you grew up with kids who you know what type of parents they had, but you say something about their mama, they ready to fight. It didn't matter what their mama did to them, right? So kids naturally want to be loved by their parents, and they're naturally gonna protect the name of their parents. So don't go do anything that would make it negative, because now as they get older, you can have some real conversations with them, right? But at that early age, I think you gotta allow, if they're wanting to be a part of their life, allow them to. I think the only thing I would have done differently is I would have took away the feeling of guilt earlier. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have this feeling of guilt of, I feel sorry for my kids. I don't know what they thinking emotionally, and you kind of back off a little bit. And I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have been in a better position to understand that if I'm being too harsh on them and it turns into some kind of emotional issue, I think I would have been able to recognize it. So me not being a strong parent like I normally would have been, because I'm scared I'm gonna hurt their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Earlier, I probably would have did that different, but otherwise, I don't think I would have did a whole lot different. I think my kids have turned out to be pretty responsible. It's some things I wish they had did differently, but I mean, come on. It's some things my parents still, I'm 46 and my parents still wish I would do some stuff differently, right? So it's all trial and error. That's it. It's all trial and error. It's no, and the one thing I will say to anybody, there is no one right way to raise a kid. Raise your kids or your children based on how your kids react to your parenting. Don't try to put your kids in a box. Let your kids make errors, fail, make mistakes that they can bounce back from, but always take that moment to teach. And I think that's one of the hardest things as African American fathers that we have a hard time doing, because our patience is very, very thin. So it's more like, you know what I'm saying? And the only other thing that I would say, and I wouldn't do this differently, but I think I would be more social conscious. And what I mean by that is I wouldn't hide them from the way we are treated in the community, and not in our specific community, but in the world, and how we're viewed. And yes, you're gonna have to work as a black male or black female. You're gonna have to work twice as hard as everybody else. Don't want to admit it, but it's real. Everybody, you can do 15 things right, and that one thing you do wrong, they're ready to chop you up. And I think I would help them understand that, but I would do it in a way of not, I can't stand certain people, but in a way of, I understand this is what I gotta do, let me keep pushing. And I think I have done a good job with that, but I guess we wasn't experiencing a lot of the social climate that we have experienced in the last 2 to 5 years either, right? So, hey, I just want to tell my kids that I'm very proud of y'all, okay? Everything that I've done as a father, been to, hope that y'all have a successful life after you get grown. And now that all of y'all are out of school and starting your own life, I can't wait to see what the future holds. And I am extremely proud of my 2 bonus daughters. I won't say stepdaughters because they are my daughters. I'm proud of where they are in life, and I can't wait to see what they decide to do and what the future holds for them. But I'm proud of all y'all, and I'm proud that y'all can call me dad. To my wife, Tina, I just want to say I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the sacrifice you made for me and my family to come back and help me raise my kids. I appreciate the sacrifice of your daughters sharing their mom with us. And now everybody will have opportunity to enjoy you as an adult. And I'm looking forward to our time together. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of Mother's Day presents you get now that all the kids are grown.